Okay, we're going to be talking today about how to generate conversions with email marketing. With me, with Lara Schmoisman. So you're wondering who I am. I'm the founder and the CEO of the DARL. But how all started? I work in radio. I also have my first degree in screenwriting and my second degree in production and direction of television. Then I came here to the United States and I work with on red carpet, and I did a lot of interviewing, and I work with the biggest celebrities in the industry at the time, and I learned all the steps of film and television. Then I got also to work into the distribution and business development. I work for several websites and magazines online, and I realized that the digital world had all these opportunities that I would love to be part of. And that's when I started concentrating in digital marketing. So over the years, I work also as a professor of digital marketing for the fashion industry at Cal Poly Pomona, and also I founded a company called the DARL. At the DARL, we raise the bar and we break the rules. We are a boutique marketing agency based in Los Angeles, California. I have a few proud moments that I will tell you about it later. One of them is that I was named Forbes Next 1000. I was 2021 nominee for the Inspirational Woman Forum and Awards for the LA Times, 2021 Women's Council and Awards nominee, 2021 LA Times Diversity, Equality, Inclusion, and Accessibility nominee for the DARL. Also a 2021 nominee for the CEO of the Year in the San Fernando Business Journal. And the last one, but not least, is a 4-time recipient of the Best of Calabasas Award for the Marketing and Production Agency, qualifying for the 2022 Calabasas Business Hall of Fame. So you're wondering, we're going to talk about emails today. And yes, we are. There are let me give you some stats first. There are 4 billion daily email users. 64% of small businesses use email marketing to reach customers. And 4 out of 5 marketers say that they'd rather give up on social media than email marketing. You're wondering why, right? Well, we'll get there. Give me just a minute. More than 306 billion of emails are sent and received each day. This information comes from Statista in 2021. So this year probably we'll have more emails going around. So let me tell you something. When you subscribe to those emails, and I always tell the same story. There was this famous restaurant in Los Angeles that my kids loved to go, but it wasn't in my area, and it wasn't very convenient for me to go there, my family. But when we were in the area, my kids would beg for me to go to that restaurant. So I subscribe for their newsletter, and every Friday I will get their coupons. But of course, because it wasn't in my area, and of course I wouldn't go every week, I will do it myself, my cell phone swipe, and I will delete it. But it was there, and I knew that it was there. It was in the back of my mind. What it made it really convenient when I will go to the restaurant and I will just go to my trash can and find my coupons. Or you know what, even if I heard that someone was going, I will send them those emails. So it was easy to find because I knew that I have it. Even if I had the same coupon in social media, it was like impossible to find. So 99% of emails users check their inbox every day, with some checking 20 times a day. I'm guilty of charge. Let's understand first how email marketing works. We need to start by having a list. Well, you're wondering what's a list? Are those your friends and family? Well, yeah, you can put them in your list, but are those your target audience? Not so sure, depends on your product or service. So we want to make sure that you have email campaigns that you're going to be sending to your target list. Even if your business have different products, you can have different email lists for targeting each one of your services. So you need to make sure that the right people is in the right list. But now that you have the list, where do you put it? Well, very simple. You need an email service provider. What's an email service provider, or ESP? This is a service that provides you email tools. For example, at the DARL, we use a lot ActiveCampaign, but you can use other services like Klaviyo or what else? Or even MailChimp. Constant Content are probably the most popular ones, and there's some of them that they're free. So you need to see what is important for you and what you require from your ESP so you can choose wisely. And of course, that it fits your budget. Well, now that we have the email provider, what is important? To grow your email list. And this is a job that whatever you do for any kind of product or any kind of service, this is something that you need to be doing every single day. Growing your email list is something that you should never stop. Remember, even if you're the person who is in your list doesn't convert as a client, doesn't mean that they are not going to be converting in your client in the future. So what happened, or what can you do to create and grow email list and create it faster? Well, one of the strategies that we do is a lead magnet that we use for lead generation. So what's a lead magnet? A lead magnet is like an opt-in with a little bribe. It's, for example, to give an ebook or a cheat sheet or any kind of resources that maybe can be case studies or webinars. It can be free trials, samples, a coupon. Someone who subscribes for and getting a coupon, that's a lead magnet. So you can give a free quote, a consultation, or maybe quizzes or assessment that they're a little more complicated. It doesn't need to cost you anything to create, but it needs to give value to someone that it will pay with their email address. What makes a good lead magnet? Oh, sorry. Well, you already know what the lead magnet is. And you need to make sure that you're giving really value to people with this lead magnet. So you need to make sure that it's easy for them to get. It's not that they need to go steps and steps and going in weird places to find that lead magnet. It needs to be easy to get. Like they receive an email with their e-magnet, they click and they find it. Then they need that lead magnet is actionable, that actually the tips or tricks or whatever you give them will make an improvement on their life or their service or whatever you're offering. So, and at the same time, it's relevant and is not timely, because you don't want to generate a lead magnet that is going to be there just for a short period of time. You need to do this because it takes a lot of time to create a lead magnet. So, and remember, it needs to be available immediately. You need to be, the people subscribe and they get it in your inbox. And ching, you have your email out of it. Okay, well, I'm sure that many of you are already sending lead magnets and they use lead generation. And many of you are here asking, how can I improve my email open rates? Well, let me tell you something. Depends a lot of who is your email provider, but also depends a lot of who is in your email list. We need to make sure that we don't use in the, let's explore it a little more. Let's talk about, it's super important because all the hard work that you put in improving your open rate, in sending these emails or sending this email generation, you want to make sure that you improve your opening rates by doing everything right. So let's explore some factors that it will improve your opening rates. Let's try always to avoid spam filters. What are spam filters? There are some words or some signs that we can use that those are not working well with the spam. So for example, capital letters, exclamation marks, question marks, or there are some sale or buy now, all these words, they are used in filters. So check out your spam filter. That's always a great idea and see what gets checked, filtered there. So avoid to use those words, but also a word to use, it's a lot of exclamation mark or question marks. Many of the email service providers have a filter attached to them. And as one of the steps, they're going to be showing you if you pass or not. This doesn't mean that your email is really going to be clear from all the spam. That depends also in the email service. Like, let's say something that, for example, I receive a lot of emails that it says the word bread, and I start sending all those emails to spam. My spam filter will start telling my email, anything that says bread probably is spam. So that depends in each email client, what are the personal activities. Okay, something super important, that is, do you have all those subscribers? It's important to have that opening rate, yes, but if you have a lot of emails that they've been there for a long time and they never open your email, or they bounce, or they're just not interested, just remove them and keep always growing your list. Because if you are not, you're keeping all those inactive subscribers, what's going to happen is that your opening rate is going to be lower and lower each time because you're growing your list. But at the same time, there are some people that they are not for your services anymore. So, or they just unsubscribe. So just delete them from your list. And once in a while, you can move them to a different list and say, hey, are you there? Just confirm, or send something that is super attractive that they cannot resist. So to try to keep those emails alive. 3, perfect your timing. Timing can be a huge effect of whether your subscribers are opening your emails or not. So this is something you're going to be testing all the time. That's why we always recommend to do an A/B test to identify timeframes that they are better. Also depends who is your email provider. You might be able to send them in the subscriber time zone. So that's always great. There are some studies, for example, by GetResponse, that says that Tuesdays have the the highest opening rate and click-through rate. In my experience, everything depends on the industry and who is your audience. But normally, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Wednesdays, they're really good days for opening rates. Okay, 4, make your subject line stand out. Personally, I wake up every morning and I have at least 40 or 50 emails that I'm opening, and I'm deleting it, or I'm just flagging, because when I wake up in the morning at 5 in the morning, I really want to see if there's any fire or anything that is urgent. Otherwise, I need my coffee first. And talking about coffee, I'm gonna have a sip of coffee before we keep talking about making your subject line stand out. Okay, so I call this to entice. You want to entice your target audience. You want to make sure that this is your chance to shine. This is the 50% of the war. If your subject line stand out, then people will go to the preview line. Remember, you have to have always 2 lines, subject line and preview line. I always say in your subject line and preview line, need to be clear what you're going to be sending in your email, what it's your offering or what they're going to see there. Even if it's your weekly newsletter, you need to be clear what is it about. But also, you need to pick people's curiosity and see, do I want to open this, or I just want to swipe and delete it? Well, that's something that is always tricky, but you need to know your audience. And by knowing your audience, you know what are those keywords that are going to make them tick. One more thing, write to just one person. When you're writing to someone, remember, I hate those people that when I receive an email and in the CC, everyone is there. No, that's why we use email marketing and that we use our email providers. So when you're writing to the other person across wherever they are. And you make sure that you know that buyer persona and you're offering them and you're calling them by their name. Make sure that you are using, like we always talk, your storytelling. Engage with them. Make sure that they are connecting with you, either if it's your personal brand or it is your brand and your company, that you use all your brand voice. And that brand voice is always going to be in every single email. And when I talk about brand voice, and I'm talking not only the way we write, we're talking about our graphics or how the distribution that we use in our emails. People need to get to know us and to look forward what they're looking for. One more thing that for me is very important, and I really show us that we can have excellent opening rates, is to make outstanding graphics and easy to read. If you're going to be putting a lot of text, make sure that you make it easy to read, to separate it. Remember, not everyone is going to be opening it from a desktop or a big monitor. So you need to make sure that your email, you can read it either in a monitor or you can write it, you can read it in your telephone. Even if it's tiny, you need to be able to read it. So write like a friend. It's important to use words. Write to a friend. It's important to use for your subscribers, that they get to know you and they know certain words that you're going to be using. Make sure when we talk about writing to another person that is always the same brand voice. Even if you have a writer or multiple writers, you need to know those. And this is something I'm going to have a live on Facebook next week, because I realize that many people are making this mistake, is about not you having a brand guide, not only for visuals, but also for the brand voice. What words are we using? What words are we not using? This is really important information that you need to have in your brand Bible. That's how I call it, my brand. Each one of my clients, even my own brand, we have our Bible and words that we use and words that we don't use, phrases or way of we communicate. Even if we are writing for corporate or you're writing for a big company, you need to know these words, who we are and who we are not. Okay, so what else? Write amazing content every single time. You need to think that your subscribing is opening your email. You cannot just give mediocrity. You cannot just give them whatever. You need to make sure that believe that your subscribers are opening the email and you're giving them amazing content, that you're connecting with them, and whatever you offer, you need to make sure that it's connected to them, and every single time you're giving them something valuable. Also, don't forget that every single time you need to have a call to action. A call to action means find out when is my next event, or here. Not every time need to be a sell, not every time you need to sell something, but make sure that you give something, because whatever you do in your email, you want to generate that conversion to your home, or what I call your home base, that is your website. And that's the only way. Also, you're going to be analyzing traffic. And if you're selling, you're going to be selling from your website. You're not going to be selling from your email. Your email is just a channel. It's a road for you to sell your product in your website. Remember, you don't have a lot of space in your email. So be wise of what you're showing and how you're connecting with your audience. All right. Something that works for me, my personal brand, I love to do it, and I feel like I'm connected more when people are connecting with my brand. I feel like using some humor, it makes you have an instant connection with people. Not everyone needs to be funny, haha, but you're just using some wit, give your personality, those jokes that you will make in person, or just that your brand will make, because people feel more attractive to people that they are easygoing. Well, the same happens with the brand. Not everything needs to be so serious, or the same as I was saying before, not everything needs to be always selling. Okay, and something that I mentioned before, but it's super important, is optimize for mobile. Remember that between 60 and 70% of people who open your emails are going to be opening it from mobile. So you cannot afford to lose those people for having a bad experience. So here is my suggestion. Many of these email systems that you're going to be using, and then I'm going to put a link for you guys so you can use my link for ActiveCampaign if you want, is they optimize for mobile. So it depends of how you create the graphics and the fonts and how you put the text. They will adapt in mobile, depends of the size of your screen. So use that feature to make sure that everything is visible. One more thing, always before you send it, send yourself a test, and don't forget to make sure that you see it in your desktop, your mobile, whatever device you have. Test it out and make sure that your user is having an incredible experience. Okay, Now we're gonna pass to another thing. If you guys have questions, I have no problem of sending questions in the chat box. And I'm checking if we have any questions. Nothing so far. Oops, I went here. We are automating your emails with marketing and autoresponders. Okay, so we were talking about the email services providers. Email service providers, they started only to be a way to be sending bulk emails. Today are a lot more important than that. Is the opportunity to be connected and generating an interaction with your audience. So what are we using? Why are we using autoresponders? To be connected. For example, we talk about lead generation. So we create and set rules. For example, person who subscribes to this email list will receive an automatic email that will say, welcome. Or the person who will subscribe to this email list will get an automatic email saying, here's your download. Remember, each one of these emails need to have the personality and the colors and everything that is your brand. We can also work on autoresponder series, like after 2 days after they receive the welcome email, they will receive the sale. So it's like, we call it nurture sequences. So you create this nurture that you are teaching, you're feeding your target audience, your customer, you are onboarding them into the brand. We have also another kind of autoresponder, like, for example, cart abandonment. How many times you put something in the cart and you were ready to buy, but then you got an email saying, hey, you forgot that. And it's a reminder. And sometimes you say, oh yeah, that's right, let me go and check out. And sometimes I don't want it. But that's another way to connect with your audience and to prompt that buy. But you need to be careful, because if you push it too much, you can be pushy and you can turn off your audience, and you don't want that. So remember, for each autoresponder that you have, or series, or sequences, or nurture sequences, remember, you need to create a goal. Like I always say, it's content with intention. If you have an intention, you need to make sure what's your end intention. Then you're going to create you're going to map out your sequence, and to make sure how many emails I'm going to have and what happened in another email. Well, we'll have another meeting about email sequences. We will have another masterclass about email sequences. But remember, email sequences can be from 2 emails to 10 or even more. But make sure you're not repetitive. And also, if it's an introductory email sequence, people get to know you little by little. How do I build a strategy following email marketing best practices? Well, there are a lot of things that we can keep in mind, but remember, how to create an email campaign, to me, is all about the branding, that you need to have an intention for that marketing campaign, and you need to use your email list wisely. Is everyone in your list going to be interested in this product? That's why in the email list, and again, I will do another masterclass about this, you can use tags. You can say, people who bought this product, we put a tag, that product A, or people who opened this sequence, but they didn't purchase, we put tag B. So you know what part of your segments are you using for each one of your lead generation efforts. So choose wisely. Then remember, beautiful emails generate more conversion. And when I'm talking about beautiful, I'm not talking about beautiful need to be this way or this way. It needs to be beautiful and attractive to your audience. And that change person to person, brand to brand. You need to be part of the branding, and not everyone will feel attracted by that brand. And that's okay, because that's not what we want. And also, one more thing, remember to do follow-ups, because some people miss emails. Some people, they're not like me checking emails all day. So create follow-ups, and remember, like we talk about subject lines, preview lines, and when you design it, make sure that you design it with mobile on mind. And also something important, when you finish that campaign, just think about it. How are we going to reconnect with them? It never should end with one campaign. You should be having always something that is constant. Even if you have one campaign because you have a sale, you should have one email a week that it gives you that familiarity and that you're always connected with your audience. Okay. What is the most important thing after we send all these emails, we put all these efforts, and we write, we design, we create all this, is about metrics. But what metrics are important to track? Every metric? No, absolutely not. So I will say three things. First of all is deliverability. We need to make sure how many emails were delivered, because we need to, some of them could have bounced, some of them didn't work, some of them, so how many were really delivered? That's what we want to know. Then open rate. How many people open the email, and then how many people click, and it's called click-through rate. Well, I think I gave you a lot of information today about email marketing. So now I have a little time. We don't have a lot of it, but I have time for questions. So do you have any questions for email marketing? I'm here and in the box, and if there are no questions, that's amazing. It means that I've been super clear and I gave a lot of information. And you will be able to see more in the, I will send this playback so you can see it too. Well, I guess that's it from today. Well, so, oh, okay. So
I'll ask a question.
Yes.
I'll ask a question about the brand, you know, words you use and words you don't use, like, you know, that kind of piece of the branding.
Well, May 5th, I'll do a live about that in Facebook, all about branding, strategy, and how to create your brand voice in image, and why it's important to have a brand guide. But it's basically, let me answer you really fast. When we do a brand for a client, we ask a lot of questions to our client. Probably you should ask yourself those questions. And then what are the words that I will never use? Those words that really turn me off and my audience. What are things that I will never do? And what are those words that I really connect with my audience? The same with images and how you feel about those colors. Like, for example, there are some brands that I will never use black as their color. And for my agency, black works beautiful. So every person is different.
Sure.
Any more questions? All right, so before we go, I have a gift for you, and it's a free online training, that 3 ways to stand out from the crowd in the digital world. I will send you this in email, but you have there also is LaraSchmoisman.com and marketing-masterclass, and it's a 40-minute introductory workshop about 3 ways to stand out from the crowd in the digital world. And it will give you the basics for you to get those know-how and how to create a strong foundation for your brand. And in this exclusive masterclass, you will learn how to understand your brand and differentiate your business, how the importance of choosing the right strategies, and how to understand the digital marketing ecosystem and thrive. If you want to keep in touch with me, I'm Lara Schmoisman, and you can find me on laraschmoisman.com, Lara Schmoisman in Instagram, and my website for my agency is thedarl.com. So now I believe that we are done, unless anyone else has a question.
I have a question.
Yes.
So do you do this for other people?
Yes, I do.
Like, I know you have an agency, but what if one just wanted somebody to do their email stuff?
That's something that the agency can talk about. Also, I have my coaching program that you can see in laraschmoisman.com that I will teach you how to create a strategy, and then you can do it yourself or work with.
I don't want to do it myself.
Well,
That's the problem. I don't have time to do it myself. So.
Well, that's something, first of all, either you can call the agency and we can do a discovery call and see if we can help you in the agency, or B, you can take my coaching programs and I can teach you how to work it out to work with freelancers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've already done that. I've already tried using freelancers. It didn't work out.
Yeah, well, set up a meeting in the agency and we'll see how we can help you out.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Any more questions? No? All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for being here today, and we will see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.